You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your number one source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Gene. Johnson.
The AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's Revenge After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's Revenge After Show.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another Revenge After Show, Season 3, Episode 21, Impetus. As always, we are revengier. We are sexier. And I forget the
Later! We're later, that's the whole point!
Alright, we are later. But we are sexier tonight because we've got sexy Nick Wexler in the house.
Thank you.
I mean, I'm just going off of the ABC promos.
Yeah.
Keeping it in line with the marketing.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, sexy Roxy Stryer.
I'll take it. Hello. Good
And
to be here.
sexy Anna Koppel.
Hey.
You're pretty. I mean, you're sexy.
I guess.
Sexy Phil Svitek.
I guess.
Was Stephen Lemieux in the booth nodding along Phil's sexy.
He's sexy too,
I mean,
man.
yeah.
No, I think he just wanted to shout out us to call him sexy. And he just
pretty
got a new
sexy,
haircut, so he is pretty sexy in there. It's a sexy AfterBuzz tonight.
All right. Well, you guys know, as of late, we've gotten we have a little more fun with the show. And I feel like with Nick tonight, we're going to have extra fun. We're already cracking up. He's cracking us up. And tonight's...
I didn't mean to.
That's
just my face.
What'd you guys think of? What'd you guys think of tonight's episode? I know for me, last episode was huge shocks, and this episode, just the culmination of everything, just blew me away.
Well, I actually felt like an ass because after last week's episode where I think somebody predicted that it was going to be a man, that was going to be Emily taking them, and I was like, are you kidding me? It's the guy from the cabin. That's the dumbest thing ever. I eat my words. I was wrong. So I thought tonight was great, and we couldn't have guessed what happened.
I see, now I feel like a jerk because I made so much fun of Phil because last week he was like, who could have seen that coming? Who would have seen that? And then I made a lot of fun of him all week. And then this week I was like, who really saw that coming?
I know, exactly.
Ah, man.
I saw it coming.
Did you?
Yeah.
I don't know if Jack did not know things were coming.
Jack
Oh,
never knows
no. Jack, yeah, he's an idiot. But
It only took him 2 seasons to realize Emily.
I just,
Just right off the bat, is it more fun? Has it been more fun in general, knowing and being kind of part of the schemes? I mean, you're still kind of like left out and picked last for the team, but
You're in the clique now. You're in the circle.
Yeah.
Has that been more
Didn't
fun?
give her a choice. Yeah. I mean, look, it is fun because there's more to play. I think, if I'm in the dark all the time, that's just kind of one note. But now it's going to be a struggle of conscience because if I'm going to help her with revenge, that's gonna mess with me. It's going to make it's going to be harder to. What are you writing?
She's writing questions.
Yeah,
I have a question.
She's actually writing me a note about you that is really secret, so you can't see.
Yeah.
Talking shit,
I want again, we'll kind of go all over the place, but I think this ties in tonight's speech between Aiden and Jack, where Aiden is like, hey, it's got to be you, me and her, pretty much done, but that's why you're staying. I thought that was I forget my original question because you guys read some notes, but it's somehow tied in what you were saying, where now you're kind of in this dilemma: is Emily still good, or you just want her to be good because of that's how you remember her?
Because that's who Amanda was.
Right. Yeah, no, this touched on a thing that I've always kind of hoped they would touch on. I would love it if it got into this deeper, but this episode, the idea that she's going so far down a dark path that like the audience is like, I'm not sure I'm with you. Like even the people around her are like, you're kind of losing us. This is nuts, I really, to kidnap your own sister, and kind of torture her. I mean, it wasn't really her that was getting slapped around and
But
stuff.
mentally
still-
torture her.
Exactly, yeah. And her attitude about it the whole time, this like, well, whatever, I endured worse. You know, when people would show sympathy for her, it's I don't know. I think that's an awesome. I kind of forgot the question already, but
I don't think it was a real question, to be honest. It was more like a thought that would spark conversation. I guess.
Sure.
What do you guys think of, all of that?
I'm really curious about you, because you're talking about it's fun to play this now because it's not one note. And I'm wondering, are you invested in Jack and Emily? Like, are you looking to see them together as Nick Wexler? Like, is that something that you're rooting for? Or do you like her with Aiden?
Well, that's an interesting question. I look.
Thanks, I try really hard.
I think they have such great chemistry.
Which ones?
Emily and Aiden.
Okay.
I think Emily and Aiden have such great chemistry, and I think Barry's so great. I mean, Emily's amazing, and so is Barry. And I've found myself.
You feel torn with the rest of us.
Yeah, I mean, well, here's the deal: we never get to see Emily with Jack. We never get to see what that looks like. We've had stolen glances, and we've had we've had a kiss, and we've had and we've had these moments that hark back to their innocent youth and stuff, but we haven't seen what they would be like together now. But we get to see what she and Aiden are like all the time. And so you even while you're like it happened with Amanda, where everybody was like, she's just an obstacle to they hated her at first. And then by the time we lost her,
people were devastated.
Yeah. And it's like, they didn't like Aiden at first because he was an obstacle, but he was always very good, and he was in on it. So, it was a kind of different thing. But now everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people are kind of rooting for them. And I'm kind of in that camp just because I think they work so well together, and we've never really seen how well Jack and Emily would actually work together. But, it's funny. I mean, I like the idea that there's some kind of, we've dangled this carrot of Jack for Emily for so long as the kind of reward for choosing the right
path. Yeah. Or getting there. Having them be end game, absolutely.
Right.
I think most people assume they will eventually be together.
Right. And I have always kind of felt, and this is not a terribly popular opinion, but I've always kind of felt like it would be most interesting if they didn't end up together. Because I think it's, I feel like there need to be, obviously there have been a lot of consequences. She's lost a lot of people that she loves and stuff, but I feel like ultimately if she lost the person that, if she finally completes her journey or whatever, and then turns around to grab her prize, and he's like, look, I can't be with you.
Right, because in life you can only choose. You get what you want the most, and if you go to tackle that, sometimes you don't get what you wanted the second most, and so maybe she can't get her revenge and have you too.
Yeah, I mean, frankly, I kind of think that getting me, and this is this is just my opinion. This is Nick's opinion. This is not the opinion of ABC necessarily. Probably not at all, actually. But just the idea that you can't. I feel like it almost messes with the morality of the show. To be like, you can go do this and have what you want, and it's like, no, you just chose this kind of. We can get behind it to a degree, but you chose this kind of dark thing, this dark path, and then you just got to have the reward in the end. And it's like,
I feel so swindled tonight by Aiden though, with that, because he had that great speech, and then he has the speech with Emily, and you come in and just say, I need to talk to Emily.
Yeah.
And it was just, I don't know what the right adjective for that, that little piece of dialogue would be, but it was just so brutal and almost hateful towards Aiden of like, you mother effer.
Oh yeah, you could say it.
Yeah, because you feel like Aiden's messing with Jack a little bit by saying, Emily should be yours, and then Jack walks in on them making out.
He completely manipulated.
Yeah,
Jack
absolutely.
into helping. It was he knew he was not going to get him on board unless he did.
I didn't realize that there was animosity between Jack and Aiden until tonight's episode. I didn't.
You goofball.
I didn't.
Well, that's because they're men and they both have penises and love this one woman. Like, of course.
Well, I knew that they had like moments, whatever. Yeah, that they have those sort of,
macho-y.
Yeah, but this was like really manipulative.
Oh,
of
yeah.
Aiden.
Oh, yeah.
And this like took it to another level. I didn't realize that there was like that level of.
Well, because I don't think Jack would have done that to Aiden. That's who Aiden is. He's got that edgier thing.
Jack
going.
was also distracted with Margot for a while. So, you know what I mean? He didn't have to think about Emily as much. He was, at the moments, in love with Margot and was willing to see that through.
Right.
They got a house.
Yeah.
Can we talk about that for a second? All right, we on AfterBuzz have not made it a secret that we have not been a fan of Margot for Jack. How do you feel about Margot for Jack?
Well, I mean, look, that's a good question again. God,
Us with the questions tonight, girl.
yeah.
Let us know when we have a bad one.
Yeah.
Basically, I've never personally never thought it was necessary to have her pair up with Jack. I think the actress is amazing, and I love working with her and all that. So I'm glad in the end that they paired us up, and I think that a lot of good came from it. I just never thought it was completely necessary to do it, but they had their they were going somewhere with it, so it's not for me to say. I just always kind of wish that the obstacle to Jack and Emily's
being together eventually,
would have just in season 3. In season 1, it was he didn't know who she was. Season 2, he was now with a girl that he thought was her, and was married to her, and she was pregnant.
In season 3, there already was another obstacle, so why present Margot as well?
Well, yeah. Also, in season 3, it's like I felt like he had cause to be so upset with her, and he was for the first half of the season. I mean, all he showed her was his upset with her. That heartbreak and anger at her for lying to him, and then that lie sort of tipping the first domino on the shittiness of his life, I feel like that's all we really needed in a way. But again, I know that they were going somewhere with it. So
right, now with Daniel.
I trust them. Yeah, exactly. I completely get what they were doing. I just always wished to just, see I just wish the obstacle was this heartbreak and rage that he would eventually get past. Because I think it does sometimes, when he's because of TV time, you have to move things along quickly. He moves in with it really quickly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we felt that too.
So stuff like that. So that's why but again, because they needed to go somewhere with it.
By the end of the season, they had to get to her and Daniel.
Right. So I completely get what they were doing. I'm not
of course.
shitting on that. I'm just saying that because of TV time being what it is, I'm like,
right.
Just I don't want to move on that fast. It makes him look. It's kind of unsavory, and it actually makes Jack look a little dumb and bad sometimes that he's not. But I feel awful saying that because they work so hard and they're doing such a great job. The writers. I just think.
No, I know what you mean, and it's hard when that's your person, and you don't want him to come off a certain way because
that's all
you want him to kick ass.
Yeah.
And I think that the good thing is, the setup for revenge seems like in the end Jack will kick ass, and he is getting there, and he is growing, and the more he opens his eyes and looks around and figures things out, he is now part of the crew, and now he's not with Margot because of who she was. So I do think that the character is maturing, and
I think, he made that really big decision. Emily wasn't going to pursue something because of what it meant for Jack and Margot. And then as soon as Jack came on board, he knew that it could lead to, the splitting up of them. And so that was a brave choice by Jack.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I thought, looking back at it and the landscape, I think it was plotted really well.
yeah,
I'm glad to hear that. I mean, again, from within it, it's hard to judge. It's just
of course.
From within it, I'm like, we don't need to do this thing, or we don't need to. But then, like it works for the audience, and it works. So again, I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah. I actually am enjoying Margot's presence on the show now that she is kind of going with Daniel. I think it's
Although I like tonight where they're kind of splintering. Well, I guess not that. I guess I shouldn't say that. They had a moment where they were going to splinter, but then he tells her the truth.
Yeah, it's a weird storyline, but I think that maybe the two of them have the potential to not be such shitty people if they're together, because individually right now I'm not the biggest fan
How
of
is she
either.
going to save him, though? He says, you abandon your soul, and then she says, is that what I'm supposed to do?
And he says no. Because when you have somebody that you love, that you want to live for, I think that you make yourself better, and hopefully he'll be able to take his soul back because he wants to fight for her or be better for her or something. I don't know. That's just the hopeless romantic inside of me, thinking that the two of these people who aren't so great together can maybe be great. With Jack, she was just bringing him down. There was nothing she could do to help raise him up. No, seriously.
I sometimes feel like I'm bringing everyone else down. Like my life is such shit. I just can't catch a break.
No, that's not true at all. I mean,
It's totally true. It's 100%
at the
true.
end of the day, he has a moral compass, though, which is hard to say about most of the people on the show. We can say it about Charlotte also, even though she has some wishy-washy stuff sometimes when she pairs up with Victoria
young,
or
though.
whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think that shitty things happen, of course, a lot of stuff. But who you are hasn't changed, and for the worse. It maybe changed for the better. Right. You've opened your eyes a little more.
Right.
But I think that Daniel has inner demons, and I think Margot does too. And I think that hopefully together they'll figure out a way. Do you guys think that they're destined for failure, or what?
Well, but he already wants her to save him. I don't think it's as
That's not a good way to get into a relationship.
No.
Whoops.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I don't know where it's going, but,
Also, not. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but also not a good starting place. Having the father murdered, not the best beginning place, I think, for a relationship.
I would say that's true, but I don't know when the switch happened, but Daniel's been calling Conrad instead of, my dad, which is shows some sign of growth, maybe. I don't know.
It's hard to tell what team Daniel's fighting for right now, because there was that whole thing between Victoria and Conrad, and he tells Victoria that he had no idea how Conrad found out that Pascal was involved, but obviously he was the person who went and told Conrad, and now he's calling Conrad by that, and then he admits that he thinks that Conrad had to do with Pascal's murder. So you would think he's anti-Conrad at this point, but he is the one who told Conrad about it all. So Victoria's definitely going to catch him in that lie at some point. I think that Daniel's playing on thin ice. He's walking on thin ice, and he's going to get caught by somebody at some point. He's going to have to pick a team. Maybe he'll join with the good guys.
Yeah, right.
He's gone too far. He can't ever join with.
Well, he hates Emily, so no matter he would have
because
to
he
go
doesn't
back.
know.
Yes, he does. I mean, for all purposes, Victoria's telling him Emily is gunning for this family. What else do you really need to know?
Why? You need to know why.
Okay.
I just
How does that? I just don't see it. I don't see it.
the only reason I say that is because you can't help but ignore Daniel season 1 and the poet, this writer who had some good things in him, where Emily actually felt really guilty being with him because she was like, he's a good guy and he's just doesn't really know where to turn. So I think there must be reason we saw that side of him, that he is capable of good somewhere in him.
Well, it depends on his relationship with Charlotte. right? Especially now as Charlotte knows the truth, and we only have one episode left of this season, so who knows? You can't really judge it too much in terms of whether he's gonna, whatever, turn good. But
right, I don't mean by
because-
the end of the season. I just mean in general, in the course of the show.
I don't know. He's gonna have to turn on Victoria, which right now they're together in that bell tower. That's what we call it.
What do you think? Do you think that he could turn good?
As you were talking about it, I started to think, when was the moment that he became so evil?
It was season 3.
No, it's earlier than this season.
Yeah, when?
I have to say in season 2, I think.
Yeah, but he's kind of being manipulated, and he was in control of the company, but he wasn't really doing all those things.
Well, it was when he learned about what Conrad and Victoria had done and didn't sell them out. That's like the
That
turn.
was the turning point?
For me at least,
wasn't he involved in like a murder cover up?
And then the blow up of the building, and he found out that, and you were supposed to die in the blow up of the building.
Right.
Wow, a lot's happened on
Yeah.
this show.
So much.
Yeah.
I'm like, when was this? But I think season
Remember
2.
Lydia happened.
And then died,
Which
and then happened
time?
again.
That happened.
I love that anyone who like almost dies, they just take him to Grayson Manor.
Oh, yeah.
They're just like a room full of
Of
like
sick
like-
patients.
Yeah.
Yes, Emily was there for a while, too. And anybody. I mean, like, I could break an arm and go to Grayson Manor, for sure.
Yeah, there's a hospital there.
Absolutely. I don't know though. So maybe not. Maybe he's a complete piece of shit, and there is no redemption for him. But I think that this is what they're hinting at with Margot. I think that she is a little higher on the spectrum of good people, and even though she wasn't high enough for a character like Jax, I think that she's high enough that maybe she could help Daniel out of this.
I think ultimately Margot's going to be a pawn.
In
I don't know.
Daniel's game.
Not in Daniel's game. I think Emily. It's a piece for Emily to use and manipulate, and especially where she knows that Daniel is going after her in the worst of ways. Manipulate that relationship.
Maybe.
I don't know how or why you would need to right now, but
she's not. She can't be a red X, So
no, I mean, she's not going to be a red X. But Jack wasn't a red X, but he did what he needed to do, and they manipulated him just fine.
kind of. I mean, it's not like they did anything particularly harmful to him. Yeah, you use her as a piece, maybe.
So
but
they don't have to do the same thing with Margot either.
so how could you see her helping Emily's plan? Like, what could she do? Because she's close to Daniel now.
Yeah, they can manipulate her to manipulate Daniel or get information out of Daniel to give to her.
Well, and I mean, all kinds of things. She has the magazine, and she has the app. Yes, and she has the app. She has all of the Lima Shell Empire now. So
Yeah, she's
She
got
does.
power.
She does.
Rocking it.
By the way, I love this app, My Clone.
oh, it's a great app.
I mean, I knew it could do a lot, but this simulated the abuse thing, I mean, I guess in the fantasy world, maybe some people really like that. Like, let's bring up this girl, let's kick the crap out of her, and like, what did you say to the app? What did you say? My Clone.
This takes the movie Her to a whole new level. It just does. For those of you unaware of Her, it's where someone can fall in love with their operating system. Here you actually get a somewhat more visual representation of who
I'm
you fall in love
scared
with.
of the people who are watching this show and somebody being like, this idea is brilliant, and going and making it. Because,
Good luck, by the way. How you gonna do that?
Phil, I've been here for 4 years, and you know that I am not very good with the coding, so I don't know the answer to how you're going to do that. Otherwise, I probably would have done it. I'd be so rich. If somebody could actually make this, are you kidding me? People would...
Well, I think Nick joked about it with you guys, but I think we just need to hack into the database.
Yeah. Just hack into the national database.
Yep, of course.
See, it sounds easy enough, right?
Yeah, I think it's possible.
Well, now...
Every TV show does it.
Yeah,
so
everyone. Yeah, it really is.
Problem.
You know who I want on my team for that, though? Javier. Javier coming in the clutch. hacking into the phones and the international database.
Is he where's he stand? He helped out Jack in finding this place, which we're all like, you joked about it. Why didn't anybody close or lock the door?
Right?
Super secret location.
Also, why is Jack so cool with Javier? So Javier walks into the bar, and you guys kind of like, what's it called, daps or what?
What's up, bro?
Handshake. Yeah, what's up, bro?
Fist pump.
And you say that he's not cool with Nolan at the time. You don't think they're really friends anymore, but Jack's fine with him. Because you just don't really care that Nolan's not cool with him, or Jack doesn't really care?
Oh, I think that's an error in the way I played it.
No.
Really, because I think I'm not cool with him.
Well, in all fairness,
I'm just maintaining some like just being kind of nice. It's like, oh hey, and then I find out because I didn't know who he was when he walked in, and then he introduces himself, and I'm like, oh, you're that guy.
Got it.
Guy.
And then
what's this?
for
I
us,
what it'd say.
our audio listeners, people who are watching it right now.
That is filthy.
Oh my god, guys, share with the class. No, the reason I said that was because I think that this was
Unbelievable.
Jack's obviously.
Sorry, go ahead.
I mean, if you guys want to share, I'm cool. We can drop the revenge conversation.
I think at this point, Jack has so many people coming into that bar and saying one thing. I mean, the bombshell of like, "Hey, I'm your mother." So at this point, and some things may be true, and he doesn't know where Emily and the rest of that team is kind of what their status is with them. So he's like, he just goes along with it.
Yeah, but this is why I'm saying that I think Jack's growing up, because when we find out that what he did is you got Javier to hack into Nolan's phone. You never would have thought of something like that before. So I think that he's using his resources wisely to make the world a better place and be a sister to every Girl Scout.
All right.
That's the end of whatever. I'm just saying that he's using his resources.
You're really seeing between the scenes there.
Whatever, guys. You know what? I got to throw it in somewhere. I was a Girl Scout of 13 years. Sometimes things just come to me. No, but I think that was wise and something that Nolan would have done or Emily would have done. And now Jack's like, oh, I'm going to track them and I'm going to figure out where they are. Maybe locking their doors was a good call.
Season 2, he would have just kept texting repeatedly.
Oh, yeah. Question marks, Somebody doesn't respond to your thing. You send the question mark, ping. I miss Blackberries. And you could ping people all day.
Ping is like more of a universal word than BlackBerry.
It was a button, though.
I understand
like
that.
Now I have
but you
to
understand
type.
that in the tech world, like ping is much more than just a BlackBerry.
What's a ping out of a BlackBerry? Like outside of BlackBerry, it means the same thing. Like hello.
Yes, you could ping an IP address, among other things.
Your location, right?
So over my head.
I'm just saying, and if we get Gabriel Mann, maybe he can explain the technology more.
He can't.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask. So, no sort of knowledge of the tech world, because it must be very difficult for him to play a character that's so tech savvy. Then,
I mean, I don't actually know if he,
does he know how to use an
iPhone? Yeah, he uses his iPhone very well. He uses Twitter very well. He uses.
My stepfather uses his iPhone very well.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Nice.
It's very user friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's a good
I don't really
barometer.
understand the correlation.
She's getting paid.
I'm just saying.
But yeah,
Totally.
but he doesn't know. I don't think. I'm pretty sure he doesn't know anything about any of that other stuff. He knows how to use his iPhone and an iPad.
Got it.
He probably just has to Google some of his lines beforehand. Like, what does this mean? It'll pop up.
I think there actually was an example of that. There was something like that.
Where he didn't know what the word was.
Yes, and I think I told him. What was it? It was like, oh no, it was just he had to say jolly-ol, because he was referring to England. He's like, Emily's off in jolly-ol, and he was saying jolly-ole.
Oh. Jolly ole.
Yeah.
That would be somewhere in Mexico instead. So.
Yeah.
That was like one of my funniest jokes ever, and I really was expecting a bigger laugh out of you guys. Can we try it one more time?
Hey, I laughed.
Thanks, I appreciate it. Who cares?
How do we feel about Victoria? And
Good guy.
Victoria's a good guy.
I kind of think so, honestly. And no joke. Last week when we were sitting here, I was talking about how I think that Victoria has been. See, this is why in life I get screwed so many times, because I just think everybody kind of can be a good guy. But I think she does have a good guy in her, and I talked about it, and then I got like 100 tweets this week about people being like, "We love Victoria, Team Victoria, absolutely Victoria," and I'm like, thank you guys, I'm not alone. I think that she got totally screwed, and she was in love with David Clark, and now then she's devastated, and she's just, I feel bad for her. I don't feel bad for Conrad. He's a piece of crap. Victoria, I really think
Okay,
that
but
there's
does it
something there.
excuse her actions? She's
No, of course not. You shouldn't do bad things just because you had a crappy life. If that's what happened, everybody in the world would do bad things, you know? So no, it doesn't excuse her actions, but at least we understand her a little more. Conrad, we know nothing about his past. I don't feel bad for him at all because I don't know that he was abused or had to have a kid and give up his kid when he was little. You know, these are all things that make me understand Victoria.
Jesus, you're amazing.
But here's the
remembering
thing:
stuff, you guys.
Victoria was, as Daniel says, she gambled the life of her daughter, whereas Conrad was right from the get-go, we got to save this girl, and that's where he felt so betrayed. I mean, I didn't feel bad for him by any means.
No, she didn't gamble his life. She knew when the blood and the hair didn't match up that they weren't related, and therefore Carl obviously couldn't be a Clark. Are you guys following? Or you know what I mean? That's why she did it, because if the DNA didn't match, it meant that there was no person that was in between them. So David Clark couldn't have had both Charlotte and Amanda, who had Carl. Mm-hmm. So she knew Amanda wasn't a Clark. So that couldn't have been Amanda. That's how she now knows.
Got it.
Is everybody with me?
This is a good private investigator. I mean, out of anything that
totally.
Daniel's done for the show, it's finding a great PI.
I think he's done a lot of great stuff for the show, but I just want to see some of that poetry. Roses are red, you know? It should be like a special, AfterBuzz special. We'll call Josh, get him to write us some poetry. I don't even know what I'm talking about at this point. But anyway, so I thought that was smart of Victoria to match the DNA between the hair and the blood. Obviously didn't match. She's getting it. Conrad, who's just so angry all the time and so pissed and so like, you know what, she's not my daughter anymore, and this isn't this anymore. She's actually connecting the dots. She takes out the picture. She's Xing them out. She's realizing where Emily, or whoever Emily is going with this. And now she sees that Amanda wasn't Amanda. She's so close to having all of the knowledge. So close. She's almost there. You know, she almost knows everything.
So what ultimately betrayed Conrad? What is it? His love for Charlotte, his
What do you mean?
his idea that he was unstoppable.
What betrayed him?
Yeah, because in those final moments, as he's yelling at Charlotte, you know, what was the thing that just betrayed him? His confidence.
It was the idea that she was going to betray him. She said that she was going to call the police.
That she was an ungrateful, selfish bastard, or whatever he called her.
All right, never mind. You guys aren't understanding.
No, I'm not.
the question.
Yeah, we are understanding it.
All right,
That-
fair enough.
I thought it was.
Like, what was his Achilles heel finally,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So and
Do
I
you
think
mean
that-
back in the day? Do you mean like before tonight's
No,
episode?
tonight.
Like, how did he
'Cause
finally
he's-
get caught?
Yeah.
He's already, you know, as he says, you know, he's the last man standing up until obviously this point. But what was, you know, what?
The anger, instead of being smart about it, it's the fact that he can't see what's going on because he's so pissed that she could possibly betray him. Mm-hmm. After everything he gave her, and the money, and the beautiful bedroom, and the clothes, and the Paris, and whatever she ever wanted, that she could do this. Oh, the horror! You know, that's what was the downfall.
Yeah.
Did you guys like my dramatic effects on that?
I did.
Thanks. I planned them all night.
He had some hateful things to say to her. That was intense.
Last time we talked about the whisper,
Oh yeah. Well, we all whisper. I mean, all of us do. It's ridiculous.
but he didn't whisper on that one.
No.
He was.
He says he can
was-
take her out.
He's brilliant, and I mean, he's brilliant. He's always brilliant.
I-
But like, he was
yeah.
particularly brilliant in this episode. He's so good. He's so good, and yeah, like the way he handled that scene, and just like
What is he like offset? Because I mean,
he's
so
hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. He's like very easygoing and hilarious. Like kind of impossible to not like.
See, I'm just so afraid of him that I think I would be afraid of him offset. Even if he was funny, I would be like, okay, you don't take me out. Like, don't hire anybody. Because he's really talented. Everything he says is completely believable. And even the whisper yell or the real yell. To say that, and maybe it's the writers too, because I thought that was very well written. That scene.
Oh yeah.
To look at your daughter, I guess it's actually not his daughter by blood, but whatever, and say that I look what I did to your sister. I can take you out too. Man, like, what's worse than that? Yeah. Nothing. She has to be feeling so betrayed right now herself. And then the fact that she set up set up Conrad and didn't even know she was setting him up. I'm still a little confused about that, though.
In what regard?
In the sense that, okay, so what happened was there was a camera on her coat. And Jack was the one who set her free because Aiden told you to set her free. Mm-hmm. Did Aiden and Emily plant the camera on the coat and not tell you the plan? They just told Jack to set her free, and Jack set her free not knowing what was going to happen?
I think so.
Okay.
because he was saying, I don't know, like he was like, I still don't understand how like that could have possibly led to blah, blah, blah. But then we find out there was this camera on her, and so they just didn't. Yeah, I mean, Jack's been kind of a pawn.
But the more elaborate part of the plan is that they had the broadcast there so that they could tap into it and show this. All right, I'm with it now.
Let me, you kind of brought it up at the top of the show, but what do you think the reaction is like? Because I haven't been reading the tweets. What do you think the reaction is like in terms of, has Emily gone too far? Because this reminds me of V for Vendetta with Natalie Portman.
Oh, yeah.
Spoiler alert. She gets tortured in a similar way, and it turns out good. So I was expecting that as well. But I could see audiences being like, Emily, you've gone a little bit too far.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't talked to anybody about, obviously about this particular episode yet. I mean, I think this is one of the harder to stick with, one of the harder moments to get behind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, I think
it's hard to justify it. It's hard.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone else is going to be like, Jesus Christ, that's your own sister that you just kidnapped and essentially tortured. And that's hard.
So I, of course, am obsessed, so I read the blogs and the tweets and whatnot. I'm not sure about specifically tonight's episode because we watched and then came right into here, and I try not to look at the Twitter feed before because I don't want to know what happens. But I know that in the past month or so, people think that she has gone a little off the deep end, and people are struggling. They think that, she shouldn't get everything, like you were saying, she shouldn't get everything she's ever wanted because at this point they don't know if she's deserved it. If she deserves it because she is morally flawed. And I happen to love Emily as a character, and I fully stand behind her, but some people don't anymore, and some people think that enough's enough and you've gone too far. I mean, even Aiden's thought that about her before and talked about this revenge path. Obviously, we see that Nolan's thought that about her. We've seen Jack thinking about her, and now some audience members are starting to think that about her. I wouldn't be surprised if at some point she steps back and thinks that about herself.
Yeah.
But I think that's who we are as humans. Sometimes we take things too far, and it's hard to come back from something you've taken too far.
She did have that great line about, Emily Thorne is a machine that I created.
Yeah.
Who Amanda Clark is, I don't know. And I don't think we know either.
And it's so difficult when you don't know what you do. When you get what you've been fighting for forever.
Yeah.
For decades, like forever. This is what you want. You've been fighting for this moment. Now what? Well, guess what? She has no idea. She doesn't know now what.
I wish that they would touch on that idea even more. Just I keep wanting to see a slow build of her realizing, or those around her realizing that, because you've been so close to the Graysons for so long. You Trojan horsed your way into their lives, and you have so much information. Like, you could probably have taken them down sooner. Why haven't you?
Right.
And if and maybe Nolan or someone is like puts it together and realizes you're stalling.
You're stalling. Totally.
Because you know deep down that once this is over,
what's left?
You have nothing. You've dedicated your entire life to this getting revenge for what was done to you, and you'll have nothing when it's over. Like you said, the other thing I think is it's a monument to her father. There's a line in a movie called, it's also a play, Rabbit Hole.
Of course.
Yeah, when she's downstairs in the basement with her mom, and she reaches over and takes her hand or something, but she turns to her mom and says, "Does it ever go away?" And because they're facing the boxes of stuff, like her child's stuff. Her child is dead, and so she says, "Does it ever, the pain? Does it ever go away?" And she among other things, says, "No, it gets to where you can bear it." And she says, "It's all you have left of your son." And I think the pain, the memory, are all you have left. And the memory is sort of constantly fading, and it's not even necessarily the whole story. And so I think she built this tribute to her father, her revenge plan.
And now she can't let go of it.
Yeah, like if you actually complete it, you have no tribute to him anymore. You know what I mean? It's like...
Well, it's her reason to wake up. And without this, like you're saying, she doesn't have that direct connection to him anymore.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really tough, and I think that maybe not everybody can relate to that. So it's hard for people to understand why this is so important to her. But to me, I can totally see that. I think that not to this extent is it realistic, but the need for revenge and keeping somebody's memory alive, that I get.
Yeah. Somebody got your order wrong at Starbucks.
You know it. Spelled my name wrong, messed the order up.
I'm amazed how well, because Emily and Conrad became such friends, quote unquote, and ultimately, it ends in this way. And what I love is it feels like they're going to use each other now to get Victoria, bring her down. But I also think that she might be underestimating Victoria a little bit. In some sense.
Absolutely, because Victoria has almost all the pieces of the puzzle. And Emily has no idea that Victoria knows anything at all, which is the biggest weapon that Victoria could have. But the other weapon that Emily now has, and we'll see if she uses it, is Charlotte. Now that she has Charlotte on her team, Charlotte just doesn't know she's on Emily's team. She knows what she's fighting for now, but she doesn't know that there are people in her corner.
Yeah. Well, then there's also the ring. What is this?
The David Clark ring?
This is the biggest speculation. We thought that guy kidnapped Charlotte. Now, for what reason, I don't know, because obviously it didn't come to fruition. But, I don't know.
Yeah. So, this man, all we know about him is that he is writing Charlotte letters. Are we over the fact that we think that it's Jack that's writing the letters?
I rewatched last week's episode, and yes, we're over that.
Okay.
We had a 10-minute debate how she thought it was you writing the letters.
Trying to trick Charlotte. I don't know. It's hard on the show because there's so much information that you could get. Somebody can do one look or one line. You could hear a word wrong, and I create theories too. I'm like, I've got it. But I've been wrong a million times before too. So whatever. At least now we're all on the same page. This man is writing the letters.
To be fair, Jack doesn't even know that he's being used as a pawn in this bigger. So he might be sending the letters. He just doesn't even know. It could be. That could still be.
Let's not go.
But I don't think that he knows that he's sending letters anymore. No. I'm done with that idea.
Okay, I can work with that.
Okay.
So now we know that this man is sending letters. We know that he's coming across as somebody who is a David Clark supporter. And
he's young.
Yeah, we've seen him for a second now. He lives in this cabin, and he is collecting information. For what reason, we don't know. He also has come to their town and is staring at Jack in windows, and a little creepy. Yeah, but I don't know where he's going to come into play. Obviously, we have a season finale to find out. But yeah, I really don't know what he wants with the team and which side he could be on. I'm assuming he's on Team Good Guy because he is so creepy and they're kind of setting him up like a bad guy, but he is sending these letters to Charlotte, so I'm thinking he's Team Good Guy. What do you guys think?
It just depends how he employs the information he has. Because here's the problem. Even if you're, quote-unquote, a good guy, if you're a rogue, it doesn't really help anybody. Because Aiden's been a good guy for how many, I guess 2 seasons. But every time he's gone rogue, it's almost hindered every single plan.
So it's Emily's way or the highway.
Yes. At this point, because everything has to be accounted for. And if everything's not accounted for, it won't go well.
Okay. Can we speak about Aiden going rogue for a second? So
Sure.
I know that, Nick, you're not going to be able to speak about this too much because you have a little more information than we do.
I haven't been able to speak about like there's. I want to say so much.
Oh, of course.
I just it's fun to
Hear the theories.
Yeah.
Here's what we know. We know that somebody's going to die. We know that Barry is leaving the show. So we
know that Emily Van Camp cries.
Yes, we know that. So I am under the theory that Aiden is dying. Okay? If we take that theory to be true, just run with this for a minute. Tonight's episode is really weird because we have that scene with Aiden and Jack, and then we have that scene with Aiden and Emily, and we hear Aiden say to Jack that he's going to end things with Emily because it's not working, and then we hear Aiden say to Emily that they've tried so many times and they're supposed to be together. And I am having such a hard time getting on. I say team so much here, but I always in order to
You watch too
these
much
shows.
Twilight.
I watch so many shows. I have to be team somebody, and I'm having such a hard time because I've always wanted Jack and Emily to end up together because that's how it was as kids and it's destiny and whatever. But I love Aiden and Emily, so it must be that he
here's
has
the
to
thing.
die.
You can't be a perfect fit if you're dead. It doesn't really work that way.
Absolutely
It
not.
just doesn't.
But then, okay, but this is what Anna said last week, and I agree. But then, what is Jack the consolation prize? Because Aiden's dead, so
Yeah, I don't like that.
Not if Jack kills Aiden. Which I don't know if it would happen.
That would be a sudden turn in Jack's character.
That would be quite the turn.
Yes.
was that a serious? What do you mean? On purpose?
I don't know.
On purpose?
I don't think that was just a joke. Okay. First off, so if you want to run with that theory, please run. But that's not a serious comment at all.
I don't really know what to make of this all. You know?
However, I think Daniel could very well kill Aiden. Especially after getting tackled tonight at the cop station.
And he'll kill anybody. He'll kill someone for getting his order wrong.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, he's tried to kill.
So
a
he's
bunch
Team
of
Roxy, absolutely.
And Hosko, where does he come into play?
I don't know.
That was the creepiest
He
thing
was
ever.
hitting. He was hitting on her, the detective.
Hitting on her? Wait,
He was hitting on
in a
her.
vote, hitting on her or threatening her?
Both? Question mark? Both, absolutely. I mean,
Wait, how do you hit on someone by hey, your ex-husband really hates you?
I mean,
I can see
okay.
why.
I'm messed up enough as a person that might work on me. If I was confused enough, are you hitting on me or threatening my life?
I'll just give him your number. Just
Yeah,
in case.
let's get drinks and we can figure it out which way this is gonna go.
A couple of after shows ago, we did hand out her, what is it called?
Tinder.
I had to get rid of it.
Her
We got
Tinder.
rid of
Guys, I had to
Tinder.
get rid of the Tinder. It was too weird. It was weird. Some people are creepy like Costco, and you don't know their intentions.
I thought that turned you on.
Yeah, I guess I'm all talk then.
All right.
No, but the detective clearly was threatening her, was saying that she's dangerous to Daniel, that he'll be seeing her soon. But you guys didn't think I felt like he was winking at her the whole time. It was kind of Nobody else felt like they were flirting?
Okay, when you say...
Maybe I'm just so used to seeing Emily flirt with everybody.
Okay.
All right, we're going to do like a reenactment. I'm going to change up some lines of dialogue to make that work.
Who are you?
I'm Hosko.
Bummer.
You're Emily.
Okay.
I cannot wait for this.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so the fingerprints didn't match.
Well, of course they didn't. I'm innocent.
Well, your husband doesn't seem to think so.
Well, that's because he's a liar
Well,
and a cheat.
you can bet that I will be keeping an eye out on you.
You better. Bad boy. That's like what she was
End
going to
scene.
say.
End scene.
No, but really,
Like,
that's what I was picturing in my mind. Like, I really, thank
Nice.
you, thank you. No, I
you
really.
guys are welcome to try if you want to do it a little
No,
bit.
no, I'm
know,
good.
yeah,
I
that
couldn't
was-
possibly.
I felt
do that.
Top that.
I felt the vibe. I really felt the vibe. Apparently, I'm crazy. This is this equivalent of your theory.
I think
last
I think
week.
it's just. I mean, I could be wrong, but I think it's just that that confident, charming swagger
that he or she has, or both.
that he has. I mean, that character had. I think it's that is
Maybe
that sort of was read that way.
smugness or whatever. Yeah.
Like the contradiction of kind of, like Victoria does it all the time. She's smiling while she's saying the most awful things.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's kind of he's just sort of being charming and while he's saying something kind of threatening.
Yeah.
That's the way I read it, but what do I know? I'm just on the show.
What do we think about the introduction of this character, though? Now, is he after Emily?
I mean, he's going to come back in some sort of way, hopefully, maybe. I mean...
He's after her pants, but that's,
I don't
No,
get how you
what's
guys
in her
think-
pants?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just wants the pants. He
yeah.
just
No,
likes
he
the pants.
has a collection of pants.
She does have some good-looking pants. I wouldn't mind that. But
Yeah. She was definitely flirting with Conrad. What was that? Her little.
they always flirt.
I know, but she
Always.
like made eyes. She definitely like did the full body scan.
Yeah.
I think...
Strange.
at the jail cell, you're saying?
Yeah, and he got over that pretty fast. I mean, he disowned Charlotte, but he was like, "Are you responsible for this?
Godspeed."
What about Victoria?" Okay, it was kind of an odd reaction, no?
No, I mean, when I think you at that point when you're Conrad, when you know you got nothing, then you got nothing. Like, I have no card to play. I just outed myself on national television. The best thing I can do is take Victoria down with me. So let's focus on that.
Yeah. So I feel like we've talked for a while. I don't know how many answers we've actually gotten, or things of that nature. But why don't we talk to Nick specifically?
Yeah. Well,
I know it's your favorite part of the show.
I'm terrible at this, but all right, let's do it.
you can't say that. You're not terrible at this.
True.
Oh, well, all right. I know that you wrote down some of our fans' questions.
I did.
And
We're gonna
No
pull them
pressure.
up.
Yeah, we're gonna pull them up.
Filthy.
Why don't you read them and answer them?
Do you want to read
and we'll
them?
just sit back.
Well,
I
I
don't
do
want you
that
to find
because I
anything on
can't
my
read.
phone. On
no, just ask them.
okay, how would you describe Jack's role in Emily's life in season 3? This comes from our listener, Floating Minion.
Fair.
At Floating Minion.
How would I describe his role in her life in season 3? Jeez, I don't know. I mean, I think he's just been, I don't know actually, because he's been just heartbroken, for so long by the fact that she lied to him, and that lie, initiated this. I don't know. It ruined his life in a way, because so many of the things the awful things that happened to him could be traced back to that lie.
Do you think that he's positive for her though, or negative for her,
I think
or
he's
getting in the way?
I think he's sort of always positive. I think he's always a sort of reminder of the good in her. I mean, even when he's, even when he's angry with her, I think like he always had a problem with what she did. He just started telling her about it all the time when in season 3, because he was you know, he knew who she was, and he knew she'd been lying to him forever, and he was just too angry to stop, too angry to hide it. I don't know. I don't know about the role in her life. I never really thought about.
I think you got it.
Yeah, I think. Who did you?
I think you do know. You know more than you know. You know.
With season 3, we saw so many new characters, and some you got to interact. Obviously, Jack's mom. Some you didn't necessarily, like Victoria's son at this point. I don't even know. Patrick, good old Patrick. And we have Javier now and things like that. Who, so I don't know who's kind of been fun to who.
Your mom.
Yeah, like in terms of storyline, like I mean, I guess you interacted with her the most, but what?
Yeah, I think her actually. I think, and she's amazing. She's batshit in real life.
Really?
She's amazing. She's I say that lovingly.
Batshit is the nicest thing you can ever call somebody.
Good. Yeah.
Trust me, I've been called it so many times. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. I think I'd like it if somebody said it to me.
That'd be a good thing.
But yeah, she's awesome and like irreverent, deeply irreverent. So it's been a lot of fun working with her as well. But yeah, that storyline. Well, it's been one of the most significant. I also love. I mean, I think I ended up really liking the breakup moment with Margot as well. Just because it was a kind of more complex, like that moment was about her saying, "You can't see that." I can't remember what she was saying. You can't see, but he was like, all he could see was that she was doing it with Daniel. It was like, you don't see that he's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
He's gonna use you. He's gonna use you.
You can't remember what she was saying because you couldn't see whatever she was saying. All you could see was that. So in character, yeah.
It's actually just because I can't remember shit. But that's.
No, when I give you the out, you gotta take it.
No, I should. I'm sorry.
Okay, what else do we have?
But really quickly, I just want to touch on that. I really love the introduction of the storyline of the mother. I've noticed as a theme. I've noticed it's a very obvious theme that we focus on fathers a lot. Is that or the loss of fathers rather, especially in this season? I think is that sort of like a conscious choice on the part of the writers? Is that like sort of a decision they said the show would go in? You
mean losing Jack's father, losing Emily's father, losing Aiden's father?
Losing Margot's father. Wow. We're now Conrad's in prison. It's you're losing a father there too.
Okay, yeah.
I feel like we lose a lot of dads on the show, huh?
It's a bad time to be a dad.
Bad time to be a dad if you are from the Hamptons.
Isn't the finale on Mother's Day? That's lovely.
Oh well, yeah.
But the season was also renewal for the loss of Aiden's father.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. But
yeah. No, I mean, I actually don't know. I'd never. To be honest, I hadn't quite noticed that to that degree, and so I never thought to ask. But
well, now I feel like a jerk for saying it's such an obvious.
No, I hadn't thought about it either.
Okay.
Really.
No, but I feel like it. I almost feel like it must be because, I mean, who knows? Maybe it's just some sort of back of the mind thing that they're not doing purposefully, but it's just coming up. It's just coming up.
Or if anything, it connects these people. It connects.
Yeah,
because Jack Nolan looked at David Clark as a father, and so at least as we call it the A team, there's that connection. Yeah, and they haven't talked about it.
Yeah.
They gotta go out for beers at the stowaway and just kind of hash things out.
Start a club.
They do.
But yeah, no, it's an interesting idea. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it is purposeful. Not quite sure exactly what it's building towards, but yeah, like you said, it just sort of ties everyone together. Everybody. I mean, either they've lost their dad or they've lost them in some capacity.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Well, another listener question. If Jack were the one to die in this finale, in the season finale, would you be satisfied with how far he's come as a character?
That's interesting. Well, no. I mean, I'd want to see more done. I feel like, end of season 2 just was my favorite.
When you find
stuff
out
for
everything.
Jack. Yeah, he and just look like from when my wife dies on, just like the opening of his eyes and the darkening of his outlook, and we spent a. I like this idea that this character who is largely a moral compass or something on this show, a show full of like everyone else in this world, this revenge universe is doing something nefarious or immoral, and so this guy is our guy. And I've heard people say, like, I think if he went dark too, I don't think I'd watch.
Right, because we'd get lost.
But I think I love that he did go dark at the end of season 2 and we were still with him. Mm-hmm. And I think it's just, because we spent a season and a half investing in him and knowing he's not a bad guy and and we know that life just kept dumping on him. Stuff just kept happening to him. Mm-hmm. If he was doing something fucked up on his own that set him up for that stuff, we might not feel so bad. But it's just because these awful things just kept happening to him. So anyway, I like that. I like that people wouldn't have expected to get behind the good guy going a bit dark, but he, like our only sort of, really purely good guy going dark and sort of, being in that
gray zone.
Yeah, with everyone else a bit. And that's just a lot of fun. And I would have liked to have seen that come out a bit more. And there's an opportunity for that, now that his mom's been, kind of screwed over by them as well. Mm-hmm. And we'll see how this finale affects things, but there's more opportunity for him to go a little dark again, especially now that he's committed to helping her with her stuff.
As a follow-up to that, I've been reading a lot of all the interviews you've done and things that you've talked about, the way your character, that you would like him to go, the things that you enjoy playing and what you want to do. And I noticed a couple of things. Number one, you talked recently about wanting to start writing potentially, or that you thought that would be to branch off in that way. And number two, I know that just now you said you like when your character does go dark and when you have more layers to play with. Do you feel like and the way you just speak to us, I feel like you are very focused and you pay a lot of attention to the writing and you really are looking at that from a bunch of different angles. Is that something you would want to do? Maybe work in production like that at some point? And do you take that into consideration when you are playing Jack?
Well, yeah, I mean, look, I think our writers are great and they do this job better than I'd be able to do it. I'll occasionally see an opportunity that they probably saw too, but that they're not allowed to because it's a network show, and so we can't go as dark as we might like sometimes. And so I'm backseat driving. I'm seeing, they're having to pilot this thing, and they're doing a great job, and I'll just be like, oh, we should have turned there because that would have been awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
And sometimes they're like, I know, we're not able, but or because because of where we know we need to end up, we can't turn off there now. But I do think a lot about it. I think I've sort of dreamt up like scenarios that I, like I wished, like I would love to see. Basically, if I were watching this show all the time as a fan, there are things that I would love to see.
Like what? What's one thing that you would love to see?
I don't know. I mean, it's kind of not my place to say, I think, honestly. Like, because it's I don't want to say anything contrary to what they've written and have it feel like a
You don't want to step on anybody's toes.
yeah, because they work so hard and they're doing their best, so like I genuinely think they've done an amazing job. Like watching this episode tonight, I was kind of blown away. I was like, geez, this is cool.
See?
This is tense.
Someone is with me. They made a lot of fun of me last because I was shocked when Pascal died, and I made it very known on the podcast.
Yeah.
And they were like, "It was great."
Well, he kept saying, "Who could have seen it coming?" And we were like, "Mm-hmm."
Yeah.
I just didn't see the propeller. I thought, you'd throw him off the roof or something.
Right.
But that would have been cliche.
Right.
No, but I'm wondering though. So, what do you think drives you to the darkness? Then it's not a light show in general, but you seem to want to take your character deeper and darker all the time. Is that just the kind of actor that you are, or is that something you want for Jack?
I think it's both. I mean, I think, I just have whatever. I mean, I'm sure everybody does, but just, I relate to the dark parts more, I think. Mm-hmm. And he's also kind of he's so pure that I think I want to see him get sullied. He's so I don't know, yeah, he's so pristine that I'm like, I just want to mess him up. I just want to see what this good guy would do when everything goes wrong.
What he's capable of.
Yeah, and like I want to see the extent of his darkness. But I feel like right when we were about to see it, at the end of season 2, when we pick up, and understandably because he's got a kid and he kind of sobered up. Because he's like, look, if I do this, I'll probably lose custody. I'll be put in jail and whatever. That was amazing.
You're good. So,
but yeah, I hope that you can get rid of that. That was amazing. But he right?
Where would you like to see Jack go next?
I'd like to see Jack go next. Like
The Bahamas, like Aiden, like where are we going?
Yeah, on cruise together.
I would like to see Jack go. God, I actually need to think about this a lot. I'd like to talk to them. I've been wanting to ask them if I could kind of just be present in like some of the writing. Yeah. Like not
how involved are you? Like
write,
what I know
not at all really.
But like I know you're a very shy person. If you had asked them or did ask them, would they be receptive just to be in the room? As it seems to what you want to do.
He's like, stop asking me these questions. We're giving you our.
These questions are giving you. What was the question?
I don't even know anymore. No, the question was like, has your I guess maybe your shyness prevented you from asking the writers just to be in the room?
No, because I have plenty of allies, in our staff. We all get along great, and I could ask. I think, I see your point. I do feel. I basically just feel like it's not my place in a way, because I don't want. It's hard enough making art by committee, and adding another chef to the kitchen, I think is. I don't want to be that guy. Like, so it's not. It's partly shyness, sure, but.
What about directing? Would you ever respect. Because especially where on Glee you have right, Chris Colfer did an episode, yeah.
Chris Colfer is writing an episode of Glee. Paul Wesley just directed an episode of Vampire Diaries. Yeah, there are a lot of times now people who are on the show, they know the show really well. They've been on it for years. Either write, direct, they are given the opportunity, which is cool.
And especially, Mad Men's notorious for that with John Hamm and John Slattery. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I would, maybe if you wanted to direct, I think that could happen. I would love to see a Nick Wexler directed episode.
Oh, no, you wouldn't.
I would too. Yeah.
I'd like to see the bloopers, maybe. No, kidding. Total faith in you.
Yeah, no, I it's funny. I don't have a terribly a strong desire to direct. I don't think I've ever really had one. But
More writing?
I think about writing a lot. I think about writing
Maybe
a lot.
you should just start.
I know, I do. I need to, basically. I need to stop talking about it and just do it, because this is a downer of a reason, but I think I don't particularly like myself as an actor, and so and it makes me, acting has kind of made me, it's like I'm sort of spiral into this like shame of like, why are you, what are you doing? And so but I like the process of dissecting a scene or sort of figuring out why I'm doing what I'm doing, and I enjoy that process so much, and I think
Could be like, but you realize there's millions of audience members of Revenge that absolutely disagree with you on the acting
America
part.
loves you.
Here's the
Like,
thing.
you do
though.
realize that, right?
Okay, here's the thing. You can't convince. I remember this last time. We tried to convince him that he's fabulous.
I
but
understand,
that's fine.
but that's not going to stop me from trying.
Right, absolutely. But the thing that's more interesting to me than that is the fact that you are so positive about everybody else that you work with. Like, even when we aren't filming and when we are, every single actor's name that we bring up, you're like, they are amazingly talented. So it's just funny to me that we have a lot of people come in here, and whether it's on camera or off camera, they like, they'll whisper something like, oh, that person kind of sucks to work with or whatever. You haven't said one negative thing about a single person. So I think it's interesting that you have those feelings towards yourself, because I'm sure not one of them has anything negative thing to say about you either. Which is interesting to me that you seem like such a positive person.
I think I'm well liked. I just whatever. This is now I'm just going to a too dark a place, but I think I'm well liked. Yeah, exactly. I think it's, but I think everyone else is better than me on the show, and so that's what I'm. Like I think
Compare and despair.
They are. I've never heard that.
And so you think that writing could be an outlet for you, something that artistically drove you, and
if I think here's the deal, I get like, and I think I've said this a bunch of times in interviews and stuff, and it's true, and I say it to my friends all the time, but I get, look, I'm incredibly grateful for this job, and I don't want to lose it. So, please don't get me wrong. It's not a comment on the gig. It's a comment on the way my brain works and how hard I am on myself. I can't do it without getting down on myself. So, I get almost more enjoyment from sending a funny text than I do from, because I don't second guess myself. I don't have to read it later and go, oh, I did that wrong.
like when you walk out of filming, do you feel like every time you walk out, are you like, I messed that up?
I mean, not literally every time, but a lot of time. It's more often than not. And I need to sort of get past that, and I also need to stop talking about this. Oh, no, not now. I just mean generally. I need to stop mentioning it in interviews and stuff. But
You must love it though, or you wouldn't keep coming back to it. It's a love-hate.
Yeah. I mean, look, the moments when it works for me, like the moments when I like, there'll be moments when that I have some pride in, and those kind of, I keep chasing those moments basically. But if I were writing, I think it would be a purer kind of like off my own case enjoyment, because I'll come up with ideas that I completely stand behind, and I don't have to deliver them in a way that makes me feel bad. You know?
Cool.
Something just broke.
Again, Nancy. Shall we move into predictions? I know, Nick, you can't particularly participate along with us, but at least you get to hear our crazy theories.
You're AfterBuzz
I mean, what grave is Emily digging? Like, that's what she was doing, right? She was digging a grave.
Yeah, and Victoria's
Victoria's
over
standing
her.
there. You would assume Victoria's making her do it for herself. I don't know. Victoria is too
Amanda's?
smart. Oh,
Maybe? Yes? No? Perhaps?
David's? I don't know. I really don't. I think
Why? I don't know.
because a lot of fans out there have theories that David Clark's alive. A lot of them.
As an 18-year-old boy living in a cabin.
No, not that is David. No.
I mean, I don't know.
People don't think that's David Clark. They think that David Clark might be alive. I don't know if I'm one of them. I know I wouldn't write anything off of the show for certain, so who knows? But
Here's the thing, that to me would just be distasteful.
What?
If David Clark was alive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For David Clark. You know, of like, hey, I don't know. It just wouldn't sit well with me. If they were to do it, it would have to be done in the most brilliant of ways, and if they did pull it off, then I hats off to them, but I just don't see it happening.
I don't know. What I do know is by the end of this season, I think that Victoria has all the pieces. I think she knows.
But where do we end? We have to have some sort of... obviously have to have a lot of resolution, but we have to have some sort of cliffhanger.
You mean for the season 3 finale?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know exactly where we go, because I don't know how many more seasons we're gonna have. I don't know what's next or how far they've planned. Do you have any sort of idea about? No, nobody knows. So it's hard for me to tell where we're gonna end, because is it an end or is it a TBC?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It has to give some sort of resolution, but you would think there has to be at least a nugget left to go somewhere.
No, because I think even if Victoria knew everything, now it's who can take down who. Who can Victoria take down Emily before Emily takes down Victoria? And that's season 4.
So this is it? Or that's just season 4?
That would be season 4. I think this is do or die time. I think that Victoria is so close, there's no way she's not going to put it together.
Well, it's been great because season 3, if you structurally look at it, has been about taking down Conrad. And season 4, I mean, I guess if that is the ultimate season, it's Victoria versus Emily.
Okay, you got to tell me, because you're smiling over here. And
Well, I was just smiling earlier. It's do or die time.
It's always been do or die
It's always
time.
exactly
All the
time.
All the Grayson's got to be taken down.
I know, I'm just so invested at this point.
Well, I feel like Charlotte must have seen Jack's face because there's
No.
Well, there's no reason to have this secret.
You don't think she'd scream and be like, Jack, what the?
Well, I just feel like there are these moments where they choose. Why did they choose the shot where he's like gets her in the chair and then takes off the mask? He's like, okay, cool, and then runs away.
What do you mean?
That's an interesting choice, right?
As opposed to showing what?
As opposed to him running away with the mask on still.
Yeah, but what's weirder than a man running down the street
Yeah.
with a mask on?
He ran all the way there with a prisoner, though, with a captive.
You know,
He ran down the street the first way with the mask on and
Wait, Nick, when you say yeah, what?
Well, to the point you made, I think it's just that. Frankly, I think it's just that they wanted, because we had to talk about it a lot on set. I think initially they wanted me to show up with no mask, and I was like, what? Or something like that.
Yeah.
Or like, and we were trying to figure out if he was gonna run away with the mask on or with it, but I think they want to see they just wanted to see that it was me. They just wanted to remind the audience that it was me and see my face, I think. And
In case anybody was confused about it.
I guess I don't know.
I mean, with this show, anything's
Yeah, that's
possible.
true. That's true. They do sometimes give us those little summary bits because we might have forgotten. Yeah, I don't know. I think it was fine. I don't think she saw him or recognized him. But if she did get her mask off in time, she would probably be able to identify that it was a man, which is something.
Yeah. No, I think that she might be able to identify him and then be like, okay, why
Why'd you kidnap me, Jack?
why was this the way? I don't know.
I
This
don't
guy-
see that happening, but
Okay.
The second guy just felt shorter than the first guy. It's just, God, I am so.
But their
much
voices were so similar, and the
I have no idea. Anyway, it's going
words
to
of
be...
wisdom. I have no
Either
idea.
way, it's going to be... Hey, I don't know. But luckily, fans, you guys always have great theories, so let us know what your theory is for the season finale this coming Sunday. It promises to be a good one. We've had some really good recent episodes.
Well, and this last one, man. Oh, God. There's some amazing stuff that happens. It'll change everything.
Oh.
It'll change everything.
I'm not kidding.
It sounds like
It'll
you write
change.
for the show now. Now you're thinking like, that's exactly how you plug it. It changes everything.
Well, that's gonna be. We look forward to it. Anyway, where can we find you, Roxy?
You can find me everywhere at Roxy Stryer.
You can follow me at Koppel for Mayor, KOPPELFORMAYOR.
And Nick, what's your social media?
At Nick_Wexler.
All right. And do you check it often?
Yeah, I check it all the time. I just never respond to anything because I'm an asshole.
Well, at least you admit it. And follow us here on AfterBuzz TV, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course, for behind-the-scenes look of AfterBuzz TV, check out Oxygen's Chasing Maria Menounos Tuesday nights, 10 p.m. Doesn't interfere with Revenge, so there's no reason why you shouldn't watch it. Until the season finale, thank you, Nick, for being here. Well, you always come back at episode 21, so let's make it a tradition.
Yeah, I'll do it next. I promise. If I'm not doing anything else,
Sounds good.
I will be here next time.
We're the last short, the bottom of the totem pole.
Sorry, guys,
least
I'm
we're on
cooking
the-
dinner tonight. Can't make it.
Hey, look, I've been here twice. I'll do it again.
All right, we'll see you. Thank you, fans.
Thank you.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.